All right, so we have a code that can go and fetch data from Apify and displays it in the console. So really, what we want to do is display it here on the web on our own web page. So how do we do that? Let's see. Well, what we can do is put a placeholder of where we want to display our shoes, right? So a very simple way to do this is that we can perhaps just print it as a table. So let's create a HTML table, and in here maybe we can create a T head where we can put some headers, and we'll put a T body where we can display multiple rows of shoes, and what we have is, let's see, we have the image, so we can let's create a row of headers. Oops. And so the first column will be maybe the name of the shoe, and the next column will be the image. Okay, and the head, that's the head. If we render that, let's see, there it is, name and image, and there's the data that we want to render under here, and we're going to render that each shoe as a individual table row in the T body. So to do that, what we're going to do is here in the render shoes, now that we have the actual shoes, we need to go fetch the T body so that we can render the shoes in there. So to do that, we're going to grab the T body. So let's grab the T body from the HTML document here. So we're going to be using jQuery like we've been doing for everything, right? We've been using jQuery to go fetch the data. We use jQuery to fetch elements from the DOM. So let's see, where is it? We're going to grab the table. Let's grab the table. There's a table. And under the table, we're going to grab the body. Okay, now that we have the body, let's empty it just in case that there was already something in there. So empty it. And then we're going to iterate over the shoes. So for var s in shoes, var the shoe is in shoe sub s. And we can grab the original source of the image from shoes.src, and the alt, and we can grab it from shoes.alt, right? Because that's what each shoe looks like, right? It has an src and an alt. So we're grabbing it from each shoe, and then we want to create a table row for each one of these shoes. So we'll create a table row, a brand new table row, again using jQuery. We'll create a new tr. We will create a new td. That's a column inside of that table row. So let's create a td. And we want to, in that first td, we want to grab and put the alt under the name. So we'll say td. Let's append the alt. And so there we go. So we're done with the first column. In the second column, we want to put the source, which is an image source, right? The source of an image. So we'll have to create an image element. So img, img, and we're gonna set the source attribute of the image. So let's set this src attribute. The src attribute, we're going to set it to the value of the src variable. Right? Once we have the image, we're going to add it to a td. Right, so let's create another td, another column. And let's add the image to that new column. So let's say td add or append the image. And now that we have the TDs, we should add them to the TRs, the row. So the row is going to have two columns. This is the first column. So let's add the first column to the row first. So append the first column, and then again append the second column to the table row. Once we have the table row all done, we can add the table row to the table body. So let's do that. So let's say table body table body dot append a brand new table row. Okay. All right. So let's try it out. If we re-render, it didn't seem to work. Let's see what didn't work. Let's go to the source and let's see. Let's put a breakpoint here. Let's step through this. Let's see table body. It found it. It found the body. If we hover, notice that it does highlight on the left-hand side. Let's see. Do we have the first shoe? We do. Walking cradles Pamela, and it has the alt. Oops. SRC. Uh-oh. Oh, shoes.src. It should be shoe without the S. Okay. Let's fix that. So this is shoe.src, not shoes. Okay, let's re-render this. Let's retry it. Let's refresh. There we go. There we go. We have the name and the image all set. Okay, as promised, here we go. We have a means to go fetch data from a remote service that we've crawled, and we can now render it inside our own page. Right, but this looks a little ugly. We can pretty it up a little bit maybe by using a Bootstrap CSS library, and we'll do that next.